For decades, India's IT sector has been this incredible story, right? A true symbol of global success, an unstoppable force. But what if the very foundation of that success, the thing that made it such a giant, is now its greatest weakness? Well, that's the hidden flaw we're going to dig into today.
So, just to get a sense of the scale we're dealing with, let's just try to wrap our heads around this number. $283 billion. That's the projected revenue for India's IT industry for just 1 year. This isn't just big, it's a colossal force in the global economy.
But this is the real question, isn't it? Is all of this incredible growth, this total dominance in services, actually hiding a deep strategic vulnerability? Something that could seriously threaten its future?
Okay, so first things first, let's really understand the sheer power of this services juggernaut, because this isn't just another business story, it's a huge piece of modern India's economic rise.
I mean, just think about this for a second. We're talking about an industry that makes up almost 7% of the entire country's GDP, and it's on track to hit 10% pretty soon. It's a massive magnet for foreign investment and a huge, huge employer. So this isn't just a sector, it's a foundational pillar of the whole economy.
So how did it get so big so fast? Well, it was all built on a brilliant model called resource augmentation. The idea was actually pretty simple but incredibly powerful. Provide this massive pool of skilled English-speaking tech talent to the world at a much lower cost. This model was an absolute rocket ship for growth. But, and this is a big but, it also created some serious limitations down the road. And that right there, that brings us to the heart of the paradox. For all of its mind-blowing success in services, there's this huge, almost unbelievable gap when it comes to creating world-class software products.
I mean, this quote from N.R. Narayana Murthy, one of the pioneers of the whole industry, it just stops you in your tracks. Not a single invention that became a household name globally. That's such a powerful statement about the innovation gap that's existed right alongside this incredible services boom.
And if you want to see what that looks like in the real world, well, here are the numbers. For a titan like Wipro, revenue from IT products is less than 0.5% of their total. It's literally a rounding error. This one chart tells you the whole story. At their core, the giants of Indian IT are services companies through and through.
So you have to ask, why, right? How can an industry with this much technical talent, this much brainpower, struggle so much to create products? Well, the answer is kind of baked into the DNA of these companies.
It all really starts with the culture. You see, the services business runs on predictability, on process, and on minimizing risk. The most important metric is the billable hour. Now, that's fantastic for executing projects reliably, but it's the complete opposite of what you need for innovation, which requires experimentation, failure, and honestly, a little bit of chaos.
And you can just see the two worlds colliding right here. The services mindset is all about protecting value, making sure revenue is predictable. The product mindset, it's about creating entirely new value through high-risk, high-reward bets. These two ways of thinking are in constant tension, and inside these companies, the services mindset has just always won out.
And if you want proof, look no further than the R&D budget. Indian IT majors invest less than 1% of their revenue in R&D. That's half of what a services peer like Accenture invests. And it's a tiny, tiny fraction of the nearly 13% a product giant like Microsoft spends. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm. It shows a very clear strategic choice to focus on delivering services, not creating their own tech.
And finally, you've got this classic chicken and egg problem when it comes to talent. They call it the experience paradox. To build great products, you need great product leaders, but you can't really develop those leaders if you don't have a strong product culture in the first place. It's this self-reinforcing cycle that has been incredibly hard to break.
Okay, so that's the problem. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Because while the internal challenges are very real, there's a perfect storm of external forces brewing right now that's creating the best opportunity in a generation for these companies to finally make a change.
I mean, just look at how all these different forces are coming together at the same time. You've got technology becoming way more accessible. India's AI workforce has grown 14 times since 2016. Then you've got the government actively pushing for a product culture. The venture capital money is flowing into deep tech again. And maybe most important of all, the customers themselves are now demanding AI-first solutions. The game is shifting from just saving costs to creating real, new value.
So the problem's clear, and the opportunity is knocking. But how does a massive, multi-billion-dollar ship actually turn around? Well, it's not going to happen by accident. It takes a deliberate, step-by-step blueprint.
And it really boils down to this four-part strategy. First up, incubate and insulate. You have to create these little protected startups inside the company away from the day-to-day pressures of the main business. Second, build and buy. Use those huge cash reserves to acquire promising startups and, more importantly, their talent. Third, reimagine talent. You have to get aggressive about reskilling, recruiting, and actually keeping people who think like product creators. And finally, forge an ecosystem. Partner up with universities and the government to build a whole network of innovation.
And look, we know this isn't just a theory. There's a real-world example that proves this can absolutely work. Infosys Finacle. It's a globally dominant banking product. So how did it succeed where so many others failed? Well, it wasn't built inside the main services division. It was developed in a completely separate, insulated subsidiary. That allowed it to create its own unique product culture, proving that this incubate and insulate strategy is a real path forward.
And the prize for getting this right? It's huge. We're not talking about building another social media app here. The real opportunity is in deep tech, these super complex, high-value areas. Things like industrial AI, or combining AI and blockchain for supply chains, next-gen cybersecurity, and even defense tech. These are all high-growth markets where India's incredible engineering talent can create a serious competitive edge.
Which brings us right back to where we started, with that one big question. The path forward is there, the opportunity is knocking, but that internal inertia, it's a powerful force. This shift from being a world-class provider of services to a world-class creator of technology is really the defining challenge for the next decade. And the answer to this question won't just shape the future of a few companies, it's going to redefine India's entire role in the global tech landscape.